Okay, really sorry I didn't get to this one in class. I'm not going to make a habit of that, but I am going to go ahead and do this video. I wanted to make sure you had enough time to do your quiz today. So I want you to watch this video and look at the two methods, decide which one's easier for you to do, and it might depend on the problem, and then be able to do a complex fraction like this. Okay, so the first method, I'm going to multiply by the denominators to clear out those two. So I have like an extra denominator here and an extra denominator there. So if I multiply this whole thing times x minus 4, so that's the denominators, over x times x minus 4, I can put it into a fraction that's better to work with. Okay, so parentheses here, it's a binomial. I have to distribute this whole thing in to both terms. Okay, so on this first term, if I multiply that in, these x minus 4s will cancel because this one's on top and this one's on bottom. So I end up with an x cubed, and that's all. The x minus 4s have canceled. Now, if I distribute it into this one, I don't have a denominator to cancel anything out with. So I have 2x, x minus 4. So that's my numerator. Now, if I distribute this whole thing into this binomial, here the x's will cancel because that one's on bottom and that one's on top. So you get 2x minus 2 times x minus 4. And then when I distribute it into this one, I have minus x times x minus 4. Okay, so I'm just trying to clear it. So now I have just a regular fraction. I've got some stuff I need to do to it still, but now it's a regular fraction that I can simplify and factor and cancel things out. Okay, so you have x cubed plus 2x squared minus 8x on top. On the bottom, multiply these two binomials together. You get 2x squared minus 4x minus 2x. Sorry, minus 8x minus 2x, which is minus 10x. And then plus 8. Distribute that negative x to both of those, so you have minus x squared plus 4x. Okay, so I can still do some combining like terms, some factoring out common factors, and factoring like we know how to factor. Okay, so I'm going to factor out the x right here. X times x squared plus 2x minus 8. And then down here, I'm going to combine like terms. So I have 2x squared minus x squared. That gives me x squared. I have negative 10x plus 4x. So that's negative 6x. And then plus 8. Now I can factor it. Okay, so let's factor it. You have x times, okay, we want to subtract to be 8, or sorry, multiply to be 8, subtract to be 2. Since that's a minus, they have to subtract to be 2. So that's going to be x plus 4, x minus 2. On the bottom, we have, now we have a positive 8. We want to multiply to be 8 and add to be negative 6. So they're both negatives. And then that's just going to be 4 and 2. Okay, so it's completely factored now. We can cancel out and solve or simplify, but we need to state our domain. So let's go back and look at our domain. So for sure, x equals all real numbers such that x cannot equal 4 or 2. So I see that from these two factors right here. So definitely it can't equal those. But if you look back at our original, we have this x in the denominator. And that would have stayed in the denominator had I combined this into one fraction right here. So I need to consider that x too. So we're going to say 0 also. Now I'm not going to worry about this 2x minus 2 right here, because if I get a common denominator for both of those, like I get an x and an x right here, get a common denominator and combine them, it's not going to be a 2x minus 2 anymore. Okay, so typically you're going to, if you have a fraction over a fraction, this one can't be 0 either. But since we haven't combined it into one, that's taken care of down here. So this is my domain. Put it in a set. There you go. Now I can cancel. Okay, so we have an x minus 2 on top, an x minus 2 on bottom, and then this is what's left. So our answer is going to be x times x plus 4 over x minus 4 with that domain. Okay, so that was method 1. That was by clearing the fractions without getting common denominators to add or combine the fractions on the top and on the bottom. So you can clear them. Sometimes that's going to be the easier way to do it. Other times it's going to be easier to do it a different way. So you have, let's rewrite it. We have x squared over x minus 4 plus 2 all over 2x minus 2 over x minus 1. Okay. For this one, I'm going to combine the top, like do the whole top of the fraction, and then do the whole bottom of the fraction, combine it, get common denominators on each of those, and then divide the fractions. So I'm going to start with the top and get a common denominator. So my denominator on the top is x minus 4. So the common denominator is going to be x minus 4. So I'm going to go over here and write top. And I have x squared over x minus 4 plus 2 times x minus 4 over x minus 4. Okay, so my common denominator is x minus 4. I multiplied the top and the bottom of the 2 by x minus 4. And that gets me x squared plus 2x minus 4 over x minus 4, which I can factor. Sorry, it's x squared plus 2x minus 8. Distribute that, yeah, over x minus 4. So that's going to factor into x plus 4 times x minus 2 over x minus 4. Okay, so that's the top of my fraction. Now the bottom of the fraction, I get a common denominator again. This time it's just x. So I have 2x minus 2 over x minus x over x, or 1 times x over x. But you don't have to write that 1 because you're just multiplying it. Okay, so subtract those. You have 2x minus 2 minus x over x, which gives you 2x minus x is just x minus 2 over x. Okay, so my whole fraction, now I've redone the top and redone the bottom. The whole fraction is going to be x plus 4 times x minus 2 over x minus 4 all over, so that was the top, x minus 2 over x. Okay, from this point, you want to state your domain. So you're going to look at these right here. My domain, x equals all real numbers such that x does not equal, okay, x minus 4 equals 0, so x equals 4, 2, and 0. Okay, notice that this is the same domain that we got up here, 4, 2, and 0, 4, 2, and 0. So that's a good start. Okay, now to solve it, you take the top fraction, so x plus 4, x minus 2, or to simplify it, I guess, over x minus 4, multiplied by the reciprocal of the bottom, so x over x minus 2. Okay, now we're multiplying, so you can draw out your fraction bar and cancel your terms. So x minus 2 cancel. We're left with x times x plus 4 over x minus 4. So this is the answer, simplified with the domain, and it's the same answer as we got up here, x times x plus 4 over x minus 4. Okay, so again, I'm sorry that I made this long video and didn't do this in class, but I really wanted to give you all the extra time to work on your quiz. So thanks.